Hey guys, I'm Yusra. I run our socials here at NOCD. You might have seen my face a few times. I'm sorry. But I just wanted to get on here and kind of share one of the funniest and craziest OCD stories that I have from my childhood with you guys. I feel like a lot of you can probably relate to this in a sense, but it definitely sounds very weird if you don't have OCD. But this is a safe space, so I wanted to just kind of share one of the weirdest moments I've had with my OCD. Let's take it back to when I was about 10 years old. That's young, right? 10 is so young, but it's way too old for what I'm about to explain, in my opinion, if you don't have OCD. So I was a little kid playing with my sister and my cousin in a bedroom in my grandparents' house. And, we were playing fairies probably. I was always the leader, of course. Why not? And I had my little fairy shop, and it was on this wooden desk. So I was taking a look at this desk, and I saw a watermark. When you spill water on wood, it can stain it. And that mark was in the exact shape of a dinosaur. And to me, that immediately, in my brain, I said, that is a sign. That is a sign. Why would there be a watermark shaped exactly like a Tyrannosaurus Rex if they weren't about to come back and take over the world? And that's so funny now, but in that moment, it was not funny at all. I was terrified. I got my sister, I got my cousin, and I was like, you guys, you need to look at this mark. What does it look like? And honestly, they didn't know what it looked like. They were like, bro, it's water. But I was like, no, look closely. That is a Tyrannosaurus Rex. And they were like, oh my God, that's so weird. But they didn't think much more of it. And of course, it was my duty to convince them that the world was going to end and dinosaurs were going to come and kill us all, because that's genuinely what I believed. I thought it was a sign, and that it was my duty to warn people and stop them from falling victim to this dinosaur apocalypse. So I told them, I was like, no, you guys, this is a dinosaur. And this means that the dinosaurs are coming back and they are going to take over the world, and we are not safe. This is an actual sign, and we are the first people to see this. And with a little convincing and explanation, they were much younger than me. They were probably 7 and 6. They believed me, which just made me believe myself even more. And I was like, yeah, 100%. The dinosaurs are taking over the world, and this is a sign, and we need to do everything we can to stop this from happening. So the next logical step, of course, was to tell a trusted adult. So my uncle was in the house, and I went and I got him, and I was 1000% so serious. Okay, this was life or death. That's what I genuinely believed. And I was like, Uncle, look at this mark. And he was like, oh, you guys spilled water? That's annoying. And I was like, bro, no, it wasn't that we spilled water. It was here before, actually. Look at what it looks like. It looks like a dinosaur. And then he was like, okay. And I was like, do you not see what's happening? Are you not picking up what I'm putting down? This is a sign that dinosaurs are coming. Also important to note that I grew up in a religious family, and we were Muslim. So I thought that it was normal for God to show signs and stuff, right? So in my head, I was like, Uncle, this is clearly a sign from God that the dinosaurs are coming back, and we need to prepare. And he was like, no, you guys are being insane, and left. And then I was freaking out that the dinosaurs are coming back, and nobody believed me. I went and told my mom. She was like, no, that's not a sign from God. And I was like, how is it not? Clearly he's trying to tell me something, and you guys aren't listening to me. Eventually, I still believed that the dinosaurs were coming for a good few weeks. Clearly they did not come. And I eventually, I think as a child, just kind of forgot about that, but I did not go near that desk with the dinosaur mark ever again. Really, I was afraid of it, and I didn't want to look at it, because I was afraid it would convince me once again about the dinosaur apocalypse. But that was, I feel like, one of my first moments of OCD that I can remember, because I was fully convinced that this was going to occur, and I was trying to save everyone around me. I believe God sent me a sign, and I thought it was my personal responsibility to let my family know and make sure that we were safe and prepared for this dinosaur apocalypse. It sounds insane. It sounds crazy. But I was a 10-year-old with like an imagination. I was experiencing signs of OCD related to, I think, religion, related to magical thinking. I didn't know what that was at that point, right? I just thought I was being a good kid and warning people. But it did take over my mind for a couple of weeks. I became afraid. I was afraid of loud noises that I heard from outside, thinking maybe they were dinosaur stomps. It sounds so funny as I'm explaining it, but it genuinely was pretty terrifying. I had to avoid that certain desk in my grandparents' house for the longest time. I don't think I like really went back to it or around it or was able to make fun of the dinosaur thing until I was like 13 or 14. So definitely like a funny moment to look back on, but it's very interesting now because I can recognize some of the signs of OCD that were there. But I wasn't diagnosed with OCD until I was 25, I think. Yeah, 25. It's just so interesting to see how OCD came up for me in many different ways throughout my childhood. That's just one of many, honestly. And like, that's the most funny story to tell, but there were a lot more serious occurrences of OCD themes popping up in my life too. And I'm honestly grateful for my diagnosis, because without it, I wouldn't really know what was going on. Like, a lot of these thoughts I thought were normal. I thought that all people experience them, but they don't. And I'm just glad that I was able to get diagnosed and get the tools that I have today to really help myself live a better, more fulfilling life. And also knowing that I'm not alone and that I'm not crazy. I have an actual condition. It's just super helpful and honestly life-changing in so many ways.